Have you ever wondered why your shots drift off target even when everything seems perfect? The answer lies in something that you really can't see. Well, it's the wind. The wind isn't just a challenge, it is one of the most unpredictable factors in shooting. But what if I told you there is a way to control it or even anticipate it? Stick with me because by the end of this video, you will have a better understanding. So, wind flags are an essential tool for any precision shooter, especially in Benchrest shooting, where even a slight breeze can actually shift your bullet's impact point significantly. This topic actually is a great question from one of my channel members. And I just want to say your input and support truly, helps me shape the content here on Benchrest Marksman. And also, if you'd like to join and be a part of this little community, make sure you check out the channel memberships options below. So now let's break this down step by step. Wind direction is the first things that a flag can tell you. Remember, the flag points in the direction the wind is coming from. This simple cue really helps you identify whether the wind will push your bullet to the left or even right or up, down, and even increase its speed. Wind speed is the next crucial piece of information. A flag's angle and fluttering intensity provides a clear visual indicator. If the flag is barely moving, you're likely dealing with a really light breeze. When the flag is flapping vigorously or even actually out extended, it indicates a really strong wind. These winds demand a greater compensation, such as adjusting your hold to counteract their effects. So for those that don't really know, this is a Benchrest flag. You'll see very different types of styles. This is a propellered version. There are other ones out there that have different styles, but essentially they're going to tell you the same thing. So obviously, where the propeller is, that is where the wind is coming from. And then at the end of like these particular versions, they have the flag. So this is the flag that you want to be looking for. If the flag is just sort of hanging there, you don't really have to worry about it too much. But like literally the flag can stand right out towards the end, and that means that wind is picking up. And sometimes even in updrafts, this flag can be standing vertical. So always check that out. So first thing, pay attention to the direction. Second of all, check out the flag on what it is actually doing. If it's doing nothing, then obviously you're pretty good to go. But if it's straight out or even up, you want to make sure that you're watching out for those different styles and drafts before you pull that trigger. Inconsistent wind. Well, here's the tricky part. Wind rarely stays consistent. While the flag near your shooting bench might indicate, a light breeze conditions, halfway down the range or the flag nearest to your target can actually show you an entirely different. So pay attention to the flags along the entire bullet's path. This is why some ranges have multiple wind flags at various points. They'll give you more comprehensive picture of the conditions. An example, imagine you're shooting at 100 meters. The flag closest to you is, just moving gently, but the flag at the middle range is really whipping around. So what does that mean? Well, you're dealing with a light breeze near you, but a stronger crosswind mid-flight. If you ignore the middle flag and only just trust the one nearest to you, your shot might veer off unexpectedly. So make sure you take into account all the flags along. And obviously the flag closest to the target is going to have the most impact on your bullet. So the signs of wind drift. Well, what is wind drift? Wind drift refers to the sideways deflection of the bullet caused by the force of wind as it travels towards the target. This effect, really is far from random. It is actually a predictable outcome based on several measurable factors. Understanding wind drift is a crucial element to making accurate adjustments, especially in those competitive shooting situations or even long-range shooting. The key factors that affect wind drift. Well, wind speed. The speed of the wind is one of the most obvious factors. A gentle breeze might, nudge your bullet slightly off course, but a 10 mile per hour wind can push your bullet significantly, especially at those longer distances. To put this into perspective, a 10 mile per hour crosswind can push a 22 LR bullet off target, as much as 2 inches at 100 meters. Double the speed at 20 miles per hour, that drift increases up to nearly 4 inches. So when you're shooting at 100 meters, this is where wind really pays importance to pay attention. So that slight breeze can actually move your shot well and truly off the target. So some key terms for you to know. A full value wind, a wind blowing directly across your bullet's flight path. This type of wind, has maximum effect on the drift, pushing your bullet the furthest off target. Half value wind, a wind blowing at a 45-degree angle to your path. While, this still affects your bullet, the drift is reduced approximately half of what a full value would cause. A quartering wind, a less common term referring to the winds that blow diagonally, either towards you or even away from you, at angles between 0 and 90 degrees. This wind combines some of the slowing or even speeding effects with lateral drift. Zero wind, condition, a rare moment when there is no measurable wind. This is when your bullet will fly the most predictably along its intended path. And then, obviously, then you can look at ammo consistency if your bullet is not landing exactly where you aim it. The geography of a range and its impact on bullets. So the geography of a shooting range really does actually play a significant role in how wind behaves and how ultimately it affects your bullet's trajectory. Wind isn't just a horizontal force moving from point A to point B. It interacts with terrain, structures, and even natural features of the environment in actually complex ways. Here's how different geographical elements can influence wind patterns and bullet impact. First one is open versus enclosed ranges. Open ranges, an open range is with few obstructions. Wind, it really is usually more predictable. You're dealing with those direct crosswinds or headwinds or even a tailwind that can be observed clearly with the flags or actually a mirage. However, open ranges are more exposed to those sudden gusts, which can lead you off guard. As an example, an open field on a windy day will have consistent wind speeds, but when those gusts occur, they can hit for the entire trajectory of the bullet, without warning. So you got to take time. Enclosed ranges, if a range is surrounded by trees, hills, buildings, the wind becomes really more erratic. These obstacles can create turbulence and wind eddies, where the wind swirls unpredictably. Flags in these environments can actually give conflicting readings depending on the position. So, a practical tip: observe how the wind behaves near obstacles like walls or trees. You may notice dead zones with minimal wind or swirling gusts that actually disrupt your shot. Next one is natural features: trees, grass, and maybe even water. Trees, a line of trees may block the wind at the firing line, but allow gusts to re-emerge further down the range. This actually creates a false sense of calm and can mislead shooters who actually don't observe beyond their immediate area. So, tip: watch for the movement in the trees and leaves at varying distances to really understand the wind changes, as it travels throughout your range. Grass and vegetation. Grass, and the weeds, they do sway in the wind, offering natural cues about wind direction and, of course, its strength. However, really tall grass can actually create turbulence near the ground, affecting your bullet as it nears the target. The next one is man-made structures and buildings. Walls, structures near the range can actually create wind eddies where the wind really does swirl unpredictably. A wall parallel to the firing line might actually block the wind initially, but create a strong gust downrange as air redirects around the edges. It's a practical observation. If the wind near the wall behaves differently from the flags in the open, take note. It is actually reflecting a localized wind condition and not the overall pattern. So you'll observe this if you're sitting on bench 1 and bench 8, for example. It's always the two outside benches that do get affected by these natural occurring winds that are affected by man-made structures. So a key takeaway: always consider the terrain and the surroundings of what you're actually at the range. So when it feels like a steady crosswind at the firing line, might be a swirling, unpredictable wind near the target. So always use those flags, mirage, and natural cues to build a mental map of how the wind interacts with the range geography. And, if you do travel between ranges, you will see how wind behaves. And every single range you go to is unique to its own wind conditions. So now we get to the point: how to read wind flags step by step. Reading wind flags effectively is one of the most essential skills for accurate shooting. Wind flags give you a real-time information about wind speed, direction, and of course its consistency across your range. Step number 1, focus on the wind flag closest to the target. Why this is actually important: the wind closest to the target really has the most significant impact on the bullet, as it slows down or even stabilizes during its final portion of its flight. While the entire wind pattern matters the most, a flag closest to the target gives crucial information about the bullet's final trajectory before impact. So how to do it? Observe the flag nearest to the target and note its angle, movement, and its behavior. A flag pointing sharply to one side indicates a crosswind, while a subtle fluttering, may suggest a lighter or even a variable wind. So key tip, use the target as your flag as a primary indicator. After analyzing it, work your way backwards along the range to observe how the wind patterns evolve, ensuring that you're accounting for the entire path of the bullet. Step number 2, observe the angle of the flag. What the angle actually tells you. A fully extended flag means that the wind is really strong, and a drooping flag indicates a light or minimal wind. A flag fluttering inconsistently, maybe suggests a strong gust in those variable conditions. So practical insight, the angle of the flag really helps you gauge the wind speed. Pair this observation with actually looking through your scope for the Mirage or other cues to confirm your estimate. Step number 3 is identify the wind direction. So why the direction matters. The wind direction determines how your bullet will drift. A pure crosswind creates the most lateral movement, while a quartering wind combines a lateral drift with some slowing or even speeding effects. So look at the tail of the flag and note the direction it is pointing. Step number 4, look for those consistency or gusts. What consistency tells you? A flag that moves steadily provides a stable condition to shoot in, while one that flutters erratically and goes crazy signals gusts. Shooting during those gusts increases your chances of missing the target. So how you do this? Observe how the flags move over time. A smooth, steady motion means the wind is consistent, while erratic whipping around of the flag or rapid changes in its angle indicate turbulence or even gusting winds. Step number 5, use multiple flags to map the range. Why multiple flags are important? Well, wind is rarely uniform along the entire range. By analyzing multiple flags, you can identify how wind conditions change from the firing line to actually by the time you get to the target. Step number 6, combine those observations with other visual cues. Why this step completes the entire picture. Flags are an excellent starting point, but as I keep saying, combining them with other wind reading tools like the Mirage, the dust, the vegetation gives you a total comprehensive understanding. For beginners, practice is everything. Please do not get discouraged if wind reading feels really overwhelming at first. It really is one of the most challenging skills to develop, and even for the most experienced shooters. The important thing is to remember that every time that you step up to the bench, you're building a stronger foundation. Wind can be really unpredictable, but each windy day at the range is an opportunity to observe and adapt and refine those techniques. You know what? Instead of seeing it as a challenging day and as a setback, view it as a stepping stone. You don't need to master it overnight. Consistency and patience are your greatest allies. And remember, even the best shooters had to start somewhere. They honestly did not become experts by avoiding the tough conditions. They actually embrace them as their teachers. So actionable tip, next time you're at the range, take a moment and pause and really observe your surroundings. I want you to feel the breeze on your face and watch for the movement in the trees or even the grass. And actually notice how the Mirage dances across the ground. These small details are your clues to learning how to interpret them, and it is a skill that will get sharper with every single shot. So honestly, what's your biggest takeaway from today's guide? Let me know in the comments. And if you found today's video helpful, don't forget to share and please, subscribe, because we're building an awesome little community here. So next time, happy shooting. And obviously, if you want to continue to learn about Benchrest shooting, make sure you check out this video right here.